I decided last minute that I was gonna go live. I have to do the Linette business bag as a custom order, so I'm going to just sit here and sew. You can ask questions and just kind of sew with me if you're gonna plan on doing the Linette business bag. So I'm just gonna go over the pattern pieces real quickly. This is my first time making this pattern, but it looks like it's gonna be really fun and easy to do. So let me grab all my pieces. Okay, so you're gonna have your main panel. I'm doing this cute little like a canvas. I got this at Walmart. So it is backed with woven fuse and foam. Then you're gonna have your lining pieces. I have my bottom panel, I have my lining, and then I have vinyl with Decoville Heavy for my stabilizer. I have my divider panels that are gonna go inside the bag. I have 4 of them. Hi, Amanda. So I have 4 of them. And I'm using waterproof canvas so I don't have to interface with the woven fuse. I do have Decoville Heavy. This is the pocket stabilizer. And for this, in order to adhere the Decoville Heavy, make sure that when you iron it, you do not iron it on this glossy side because you will melt this. Make sure you iron it on the side that is fabric on the waterproof canvas. And so that is our divider panel. We have our straps right here. And I believe these are 4 inches by 24 inches, and they are, there's 4 of them. You have your strap connectors. These are 2 inches by 12 inches. And then I have my vinyl accent panels that go on the bottom of the bag. Make sure that when you cut these, they're mirrored image, because if you cut them all facing the same side, you're only going to be able to do one side of the bag. It needs to be mirrored so you can do the other side. Let me show you. So it'll be like this. If you're looking at the bag, you have this in a mirrored side. Okay. Here, this is the pocket zipper tab, 4 inches by 1 inch. Zipper tabs, and then this is the main zipper tab. It is 4 inches by 1.5. And then let me go and grab my zipper because I did not do that. Okay, and I'm using zipper tape, so let me go grab it. You need 16 to 18 inches. I'm going to do the 18 inches, and then I'm going to do 12 inches for the pocket divider. And I'm hoping I have enough, because this is all I have. So let's see, 16 by 18. And then 12 inch. Perfect. Okay. I am making the Linette business bag. Hi, Shay. Let me grab my zipper pulls. Apparently, I am not prepared today. Okay. Sorry about that. Hello, Belle. Okay. So I have my 2 zipper pulls, and then I have my rectangle rings I need to grab. Alrighty, change of plans. I do not have enough rectangle rings in silver, so I'm going to use gunmetal. I have 4, and then I have 2 gunmetal tabs, zipper pulls. And I think we're good to go. Okay. Hi, Shanova. Okay. I'm super nervous because this is my, well, it's not my first live, but it's my second one, but it's my first time doing this business bag. And I'm always nervous the first time that I do a bag. So these things I did off camera already, but I'm gonna go ahead and go through it with you so that you're able to do it or know to do it whenever you get to it. So you're gonna want to zigzag stitch all around the main panel of the foam. Since I'm using canvas, I was able to fuse mine. So I did not need to zigzag stitch. And then the next part that you'll need to do is you'll need to add the stabilizer to your vinyl piece, which is the Decaville Heavy. And then the last part is to add the stabilizer to your divider panel. And you're gonna go 3/8 of an inch and then add your panel, your stabilizer. But make sure when you iron this on, you don't do it on the wrong side. This glossy side, it'll melt. So make sure you don't do that. And I'm just repeating that because it's super important. I have done that. It's no fun. Okay. We have all of our pieces. Let's get to this. No, I am just starting. I just went through the pieces, Angela. This is a last minute live. I have to do the Lynette business bag for a custom order. So I figured I would just hop on and just sew and kind of talk. If y'all want to pop in, pop out. It's not really a full like tutorial. It's not like the sew along that we did, but I will be going through the steps with you. Roxanne, I have a Juki DDL 5550. Hi, Marie. So let me grab my straps. So you're gonna get your handle connectors. And I've already did this off camera. You're gonna get your ruler, measure 1 inch and get the middle point. It's a 2-inch strap, so the middle will be 1 inch in from the raw edge. From there, you're gonna get your tape. Thank you, Angela. I enjoy sewing and being able to help people, but it's nice to be able to sew late at night and have people to talk to instead of just sitting here in silence, because I do not like sewing at night by myself. But I have a lot of stuff I gotta get done. My boys started school last week, And it's just been crazy busy. I've hardly had any time to get any actual like work done. And then my husband had surgery on Tuesday. So he's pretty much out. He can't get up. He has to sit for 3 days straight. Yes. Oh my gosh. When you posted this on your Instagram, I was like, all right, buying it. And I will be buying more because I want to place one on my machine. So. Hi, Kenya. So I am making the Linette business bag. Murray, I love this cart. I just put everything in it for sewing because everything was over here, and when I was making big bags, I was knocking stuff off. I was losing stuff, and so I made myself a sewing cart. And just yesterday, I went and got some command hooks so that I can easily grab my rulers and stuff. That way I'm not losing them. Oh my goodness, are you out in Houston? Or are you in Louisiana? Because I know, I'm in the Austin area, and I know we had some evacuees come out here. So I got this cart. I don't know if you have one out wherever you're at, Target. I got this for like 30 bucks. And I know Michael's is also having a sale on their carts. And they have some carts where it's like on the side, it's a pegboard. And you can hang stuff on it. If I had the room, I would have bought one. Yes, Caroline, I am. I feel like I always forget something. Like I'm like, oh, and I have to get up or constantly move. Ooh, I'm gonna have to try out IKEA. It's probably not a good thing because then I'd buy everything. Oh, well, I hope everything is good. I heard that the storm is coming. Okay. Hi, T. So I am making the Linette business bag. Let me see. I have a picture of it. Let me kind of show you. So this is what I'm making. Okay, so what I just did was I added double-sided tape right down the middle so that I can, when I fold my edges together, it'll stick a little bit better. Hi, Tracy. So I'm like Leander, Cedar Park area. I'm like right outside Austin, 20 to 30 minutes. But I have a lot of family out in Austin. So what I'm gonna do, sorry, my hair is straightened and so it like doesn't stay behind my ear. So I probably will be tucking it in. Actually, I have a clip. Let me grab my clip. Hello, hi, thanks for joining me. Ooh, where are you? Are you located in Austin? Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I took the tape off and then I went to go rub my fingers and they got stuck. So what I'm doing here, ooh, you're really not far. You're like 10-15 minutes for me. I live right off of Palmer Sauce, like Ronald Reagan area. Like, I'm like 5 minutes away from Gary Park in Georgetown. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just getting my raw edge and I'm putting them into the center. So I'm making sure that they're close together because we're not going to be folding it, so you don't have to worry about leaving that gap so that it folds. So you can butt it right up to the middle together so that it makes a perfect 1 inch. So you're even closer to me. When all this is over, you can come and play in my sewing room. I could always use some sewing friends because I'm sure my husband is tired of me talking his ear off. Okay. So see how there is no gap? Okay. Fold each long edge to the center mark so they butt up together and press or glue base tape. That's what I did. So we're gonna fold one end of the handle connector under 1 inch. Press if you're using cloth. I'm not using cloth, so I'm not gonna press. Hi, Donna. Okay, so we're gonna fold it 1 inch and then we're gonna slide our rectangle ring into the fold, pin the end in place to secure the hardware. We're gonna continue doing that to all of the handles. Hello, Terry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just do each strap one at a time because I don't want to, my tape isn't leather tape, it's just regular paper crafting tape. So I don't think it will hold long enough for me to fold everything in the middle and then add my clips. So I'm gonna grab clips. And now I just gotta remember where I put my rectangle or my rings. Okay, found them. Oh. So I have this little washi tape here that's a little ruler, so I'll be able to do it. Hi, Robin. Hi, is it Mia or Maya? Hi, Robin. So glad you can join. This is a last minute live. I started a YouTube channel, but I don't have a camera charger. I can't find it. Oh yes, we really are neighbors. I'm in Leander. I guess we can do one big sewing party. Hello, thank you for joining. So this is just a last minute live. I just didn't want to be in my room sewing by myself, so I was like, I'll hop on. Okay. So we're gonna do 1 inch of folding. Perfect. And then I'm just gonna get clips and add it to the side, just like that. And we're gonna do the same to our next 3 straps. It's crazy because the other day I went live on Monday And it's such a small world that I had somebody message me and we ended up being cousins. It was like, oh, that's so crazy. She was watching one of my lives. It was nice. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just doing the same thing I did with my other strap. I'm butting it right up to the middle. Pretty much folding it in a 1/2 inch to make a 1 inch strap. Okay. So there is my strap connector number 2. And I'm just going to make sure I keep pressing it down because I don't want it to come undone. Hello! So glad y'all can make it. It's a last minute live. But I enjoyed doing it on Monday, so... Yes, so I like my machine because it sews through leather and thick layers very easily, like butter. And I can tell you, I have a baby lock soprano. Oh, that's the main reason why I did not sew as much bags and stuff, because it was so frustrating sewing on my baby lock. It just could not handle it. I had a walking foot. I broke my walking foot, actually. Like, it got to the point where it was just like had so much wear on it that it was grinding, and I would get like projects. And I will say I cannot sew on a regular machine now because it's so slow compared to what I'm used to on my industrial. I am making the Linette business bag. I'll show you a picture. This one's a custom order I'm making. So the stuff that I'm sticking on my straps, it's just regular double-sided tape that you can get on Amazon for paper crafting. It's a really, really cheap one. I used to do paper crafting a long time ago. That was my hobby before sewing. And so I had a ton of it. And I figured I would just use it until I'm out. And then I'm going to go to Waywack and get some leather tape. So this is from Amazon. It's like not even a name brand. It's just like this really cheap. It's like $3 for like 2, I think. Or maybe it was a pack. I think I got a pack of like a 1/4, an 1/8, and the 1 inch. Sorry, I lagged a little bit. I had lots of connection. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm doing the strap connectors right now. So I'm on my 3rd one, and I am folding it to the center to make a 1 inch strap. And I'm going to fold it. You want to fold it down 1 inch. So you're going to slide your rectangle ring in, and then fold it down 1 inch. And then you're going to clip it. Just like this. And we're going to do the same thing with the last one. So I'm doing the same thing. And so on the strap, there is a line that I marked. I marked the center point. It's a 2-inch piece. So the middle point is 1 inch in from the raw edge. So I'm going to fold it in. And like I said with the first one, on this one, you do not have to worry about leaving a gap because we're not folding it like we did with the Ethel bag. Because the where the side is that you're gonna see the fold, it's gonna be put onto the bag or sewn onto the bag, so you will not see this folded line. Okay, so I'm just taking my time. I'm not going quickly. I want to make sure that it's nice and even and lined up. There we go. So there is my strap. Uh-oh, let me... So it just depends on what you plan on doing. I guess you want to make bag making. Do you want to work with leather? If you want to work with leather, then maybe do I think it's a 1541 or a walking foot, the Juki, it's the 1118N, I believe. I'm not sure. Yes, so the one that I have, the Juki DDL 5550, is just the Japanese version of the 8700. And I got a little nervous. I bought this used from my local Facebook market group. And I got a little nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to sew bags with this. Everybody that I'm watching on YouTube has a walking foot. But I have no complaints with this whatsoever. Like, it sews through vinyl. I made the Ethel bag and it was all vinyl just about, except for the lining. It was waterproof canvas, which is still fairly thick, and it sewed it nicely along with the foam that was in between the layers. So it was 2 layers of foam, and I had at one point 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of vinyl and 2 to 3 layers of waterproof canvas. No, it doesn't get sticky. With the cheap one, with the cheap double proof, it doesn't. But sometimes it will with the score tape. But it's really weird. Like, some needles will get gummed up, others won't. Like, in the same pack. It's weird, but... Yes, what Jen said, it is just personal preference. Jennifer, I am making the Lynette business bag. And so for those who are just joining and coming in, what I did was I'm doing the strap connectors right now. I'm folding them in because they're 2 inches. I'm making a 1 inch strap. So I'm folding them to the center. Sorry, guys. And so this is my last one right here. So you're going to get your rectangle ring 1 inch down. You're going to want to fold it 1 inch from that raw edge. Let's see. Okay. And then you're just going to clip it. Just like this. We did that to all all 4 of my strap connectors. Yes, so I have a roll-in foot. Luckily, I have not needed to use it, but I do always have a Teflon foot on my machine. I tried to use it earlier today and it just wasn't working. But I think it was just too thick. I was using lots of foam. I was making a switch case. So now we're going to just set these aside. Our strap connectors, we don't need them right now. We're going to add our vinyl accent pieces to the main bag. Oh wait, no, we're not actually, because that's only if you're doing a woven accent panel, but since I'm using vinyl, I can completely skip this step and go on to step 4, which is adding the connectors to the main panel. Carmela, yes, it is such a hard choice, but if you don't plan on doing like clothing or 2 layers of cotton, I would go with the 1151. But I was sewing children's clothing, so that's why I kind of also went with this one. Plus, I do like that I don't have to switch between machines when I'm doing 2 layers of like cotton for my zipper pouches. So I'm just gonna put these to the side. I'm gonna grab my strap connectors. So we're gonna grab our main panel. This is the one this is my fabric, and the fabric I got from Walmart. It's what the customer wanted. So, use the main panel, paper pattern piece, or measure to mark a center line on the right side, and then you're gonna go 3.5 inches from that center left to right. So let me see if I can find my So I'm not gonna use my piece because, like I said in the Ethel, I like to make my pieces 1 instead of half. I don't like cutting on the fold. Because for some reason, it always cuts out bigger than... So, Jennifer, I still have a hard time pricing out my purses, but I always go based off what hardware cost is and what it costs to make the bag. So say the bag takes me $30 in materials. Sometimes I'll mark it up double, or I'll do a 1.5 markup. So this bag here, I'm selling for $80. Yes, so I'm doing a mix of vinyl and regular canvas. Yes, this is the original size of the pattern. It's very rare that I size up. So this is my first time sewing it, and I actually read through the pattern, and I think it's a fairly easy sew. It doesn't have a drop-in lining, so I feel like it's a pull-through. I feel like for a beginner you could do it, but I'm really terrible at saying like what a beginner level pattern would be, because when I decided I wanted to make a purse, like my first bag was the Bonnie bucket. And there was a lot of curse words in that went into that bag. But we got through it. And I was like, what was I thinking? But that's kind of what got me hooked on. I always say, just go for it. That's always that's my motto. Sorry, I'm trying to read the comments. I don't have Tammy here to help me like last time, so. If you really want to try, I also think the Ethel is a really good bag too. If you want to do the Ethel bag, and it's so cute. Like, I was pleasantly surprised on how that bag came out. I mean, I instantly ran outside. I pulled my husband out of bed, and I was like, you need to take some pictures of me with this purse right now. He was not happy, but I couldn't help it. It was such a cute bag and so easy to make. Okay, so I'm just gonna fold my bag in half to get the middle point. It's gonna be a little difficult because of the foam, but okay. I'm just gonna do a small little snip. So I do have a channel. I just made it, but there's no videos on it yet. I was gonna do this one as pre-recorded, but I didn't want to record on my phone, so let me make sure that I have good battery life. Thank you, Jennifer. I didn't realize that my shorts were matching until somebody pointed it out during the live. Angela, I'm the same exact way. I'm a visual learner also. And I like to watch a video before I make a pattern, but I could not find any videos on this bag. So okay, so I did my middle snip here. So now I'm gonna get my ruler, which I seem to have lost. It needs to be longer. Let me get my long ruler. I'm gonna mark the center. Does the creasing scare you because you think, like, why does it scare you? I'm more worried like with like vinyl and stuff, but I can always iron this out if it like doesn't come out. Like vinyl I'd be more worried about. So I did a little snip, maybe about like 1/8 of an inch, but my snips are not working. So I'm just snipping 1/8 of an inch into my bag so I can get my center center of my bag. Angela, I feel like I consider myself a confident beginner. I've only been making bags off and on for like altogether probably like 4 to 6 months. Really not that long at all compared to some. I'm still very intimidated, but so I'm just trying to find my chalk pen. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mark my center. And then the pattern says from there that we're gonna go 3.5 inches from this center mark. So 3.5 inches from this center mark here is going to be here. And I'm just using this Clover chalk pen that I got at Joann's. So I'm going 3.5 inches this way now for my second handle. Yes, see, if it's a duck canvas, it's something that I can iron out, I'll do it. But like if it's vinyl, no, I won't crease it because you can't iron it out. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. I don't know if you can see it, but this is where I did my center mark. And then 3.5 inches to my left and 3.5 inches to my right. And you're also going to do that to the back side, but I'm going to do this side first and then I'll do the back side. So because I am using vinyl, I cannot pin this down, so I'm just going to use double-sided tape. And I'm just going to use this to kind of pin it down, so to speak. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add it to my other two strap connectors. This will also help hold this vinyl down. Okay. So we're gonna get our first strap connector and we're gonna match it up to the edge, to the raw edge here. And we're just gonna follow this line. And because you have double-sided tape, it will stick nicely. And you're gonna do the same exact thing to the other side of the bag. So I'm just following that chalk line. Then I'm gonna give it a nice press down so that I know that it's not gonna come off while I'm sewing. So now we're going to sew 1/8 of an inch on this connector. And so I like a longer stitch length on my vinyl, so I'm going to set my stitch length to a 4. I'm just gonna make sure that it's 1/8 of an inch. I backstitch, it's just a habit. I'm just gonna make my way down all the way till I get to my clip. And then I'm gonna remove my clip because it's holding that fold down that we folded 1 inch down. So I put it onto, I butted it up against the line. So that line is where you want your strap to be, not in the middle. So when I pull this off, I'll show you. Let me just, so you want to be careful up into here. Get as close as you can to that ring, or to that rectangle ring, and then you're going to pivot. And so be careful not to hit the rectangle. Okay, I'm gonna fold this and we're gonna go down 1/8 of an inch. So the thread I'm using is Tech 70 thread from Sunny Sewing. It's black. So there's my strap. So for those that were wondering, let me see, I'm hoping y'all can see, I hope. So I drew that line. I wonder if I could just, so you see the line right here? I'm getting my strap and I'm buttoning it up right to the line. So not over, but right up to it. Because it needs to be 3.5 inches from the middle. So now we're gonna do the same thing that we did to the other strap. We're gonna do 1/8 of an inch. All the way up till you get to that rectangle ring. And then after this, I'm going to add my, name tag to this, because this will be the front. Okay. So we went 1/8 of an inch up, and now we're gonna go back 1/8 of an inch down. Okay. So I have my straps. Thank you. Okay. So this middle, just chalk, it'll wipe off. But I like that it has a nice middle seam, so I know where my middle is for when I want to put my nameplate on. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. So I'm just adding my nameplate in. I get my washer and I just kind of put it where the middle is, and then I cut through the last two of my washers. Uh-oh. Gotta make sure I pick up and put my craft knife where it belongs, because about a month ago, it must have rolled down from there and it was sticking out of a drawer, and I was walking and I stabbed myself with it. Really bad. Almost had to get stitches. So I get my nameplate off of Alibaba, and I haven't gotten around to putting up the listing of where I get all my products. Monday was super crazy. I put my kids to bed and I fell asleep, and then my husband had surgery yesterday, so I just haven't been able to get around to it. So I'm just making sure that it'll fit in here. It will. So I get them from Alibaba from a lady named Angela. I found her to be the cheapest. I know some people use Bruce, but he was about $46 more expensive for the nameplates. Whoops. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. I'll make sure that if there's one thing I do, I'll make sure that I do the I'll make sure that I add the link to where I got my nameplates from. Okay. Mallory, I feel like I'm always either cutting the tip of my fingers off with my rotary cutter, or I'm stabbing myself with my seam ripper, my craft knife. Okay. So, there's my nameplate. I'm just gonna find my snips because I like to make sure that I cut off all of the thread. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside because now we're gonna do our next piece. T, yes, it's a game changer. I'm telling you, like, just putting having the nameplate on a purse, it just seems so much more official. Yes, I sewed the straps on at 1/8 of an inch. But you need to make sure that when you do, hold on a second, I just want to make sure that I get my center mark. So this, I'll show you how to put the straps on again because that's what I'm doing here. So what I'm doing is I'm just folding my pattern right now, raw edges to try to get my center mark. And then I'm just going to do a little snip, just 1/8 of an inch, not too much. That way I have my center, I know where my center is at. Whoops. Okay. So now you're gonna get your ruler again. Find where you did that center snip. And then you're just gonna line it up. There we go. Draw a line. I'm using a chalk pen to draw my line. And then from here, you're gonna do 3.5 inches. So 3.5 inches from that center mark. And you're gonna mark, it. You're gonna go 3.5 inches to the other side now. Double check, make sure it's 3.5 inches, make sure it doesn't shift either, because you want it nice and straight. Okay. Whoops. I am hitting everything today. Okay. So you see my lines. Don't worry about the middle line. It's just, that was just so that we can measure the 3.5 inches from the center to do the straps. So this is what will be important. So I added double-sided tape to my straps. to hold it because I can't pin this because it's vinyl, and if you pin it, it'll leave holes in it. T, yes, I really like this chalk pen. I had one that I got at Hobby Lobby, but the way, it wasn't like the pen style, it was kind of like the actual chalk, and I just couldn't hold it right. So you're gonna get your strap, and you're gonna look at your right line that you made from the 3.5, from the middle, so the 3.5 inch from that middle, and you're gonna put the vinyl strap to the right of it. And you're gonna butt it up. You're just gonna follow that line. There we go. You're gonna do the same thing. Yes, it's the Clover chalk pen. It's over in the quilting section. It's not with the other chalks. So you're gonna do the same thing to the left side. You're gonna go to the left of this line. So that way when you measure it, if you were to measure it, it needs to be 3.5 inches from that middle mark. And you know that it's right. So it's 3.5 inches. And so I'm just gonna grab my other piece because I'm a perfectionist. I like to make sure that my handles are going to line up perfectly. And they are. So I can now sew this. And since I'm top stitching, I have it at a 4 for my stitch length. I just like the way it looks, and because I'm using vinyl, it's always good to have a longer stitch so you don't perforate the vinyl and it doesn't like rip off. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to go get my charger because my phone is about to die. Okay. So the foot I'm using is a Teflon foot. It's a non-stick foot, so it helps with sewing vinyl. Sorry, my husband texted me. Hey, can you bring my phone, please? Oh, I texted them to bring me my phone, and I mean my watch. No, not my watch. This is my life. Can you bring me my phone charger? Thank you. All right. Sorry about that. So 3/8 of an inch, I'm going back down, stitch length out of 4. Okay, so one strap is done. Now you're gonna do the same exact thing to the next strap. I'm doing the handles right now. So I just added it to my main piece and I stitched 1/8 of an inch, went over and came down, so a U shape. And now I'm gonna do the same exact thing to my other side. Deborah, I have a Juki DDL 5550. It's plugged up on my side of the bed. Okay. So once again, 1/8 of an inch. And then now that I'm getting close, I'm going to remove my pin from where we folded that 1 inch down at the rectangle. And I go probably about 1/4 of an inch before I can turn, because I want it to go right up. I don't want to go too close to the rectangle ring, because if I were to turn, when I turn and I put my foot down, I don't want it to be on top of the rectangle, because then you'll get a wonky stitch, which is kind of what happened here. If you can see, hold on, I hope you can see. See how it's a little bit wonky? Oh wait, no, it's this one that's wonky. Oh, I can't show you because you can't really see, but it's a little bit, oh yeah, there you go. It went a little bit diagonal, no biggie. It happens. But you see how this one's more of a straight line? Because I made sure I didn't get too close to that rectangle ring. Yes, so it's going right to the raw edge of the bag. Yes, I backstitch on the vinyl. It's just habit for me. Some people don't, because when you go to put the bag together, you're going to stitch it again, and that will secure it also. I personally like to backstitch on every start and finish. Thanks, babe. So, what do you mean is if it's all mechanical? My sewing machine? Hold on, let's see. I'm going to plug you in. There we go. Okay, what's up? Sorry, my husband was watching me. So now we're on the last of the strap. We're just gonna sew down so we get about 1/8 of an inch. And sometimes when you see me stop and you see me like kind of moving this, it's because I'm really close, but I just need to go 1 or 2 stitches. I don't want to overrun it by, like, if I push and I accidentally go too fast. Yes, my machine is not, it is not computerized. It does 1 stitch. It only does a straight stitch. It doesn't do a zigzag stitch. It doesn't do any kind of decorative stitch. It doesn't automatically put the needle down. But to be honest with you, I don't miss any of that. Okay. So we're gonna do the last stitch down. Okay. And I lost my snips. I am always losing my snips, guys. Yes, same. Like, I'm like always back stitching. Yes, Deborah, it's very basic, but it goes so fast. I have a servo motor in mine. I do not have a clutch motor. I did have a clutch motor when I first got this, but it was so loud I couldn't handle it. Yes, I have a Baby Lock Soprano that has all the bells and whistles, you know, automatic thread cutter. It automatically back stitches at the beginning and end, and then cuts the thread. But to be honest with you, it lives underneath my desk now. Okay, so our straps are done. And look, they look so pretty. I love black stitching on black vinyl. I don't know why, it just looks so like, it looks so nice. So now we can move on to our next step. Oh, really? Do you think if I were to buy the needle regulator, would I have to buy a whole new motor? Because I know mine didn't come with that, and I had to install the servo motor on my own, and I really don't want to have to install another motor onto it because it was a nightmare. Ooh, nice. I have 2 sewing machines. Well, I guess 3 because the industrial. And then I got a Flourish embroidery machine. Okay. That's where I got my servo motor from. I got it from Amazon. Angela, you would be really surprised. I recommend checking your local Facebook market for a industrial. I only paid $400 for my machine. And that was way cheaper than my Baby Lock Soprano. My Baby Lock Soprano cost too much money. And too much money for it to be sitting underneath my desk. In my back, sorry, my internet for some reason lags at night. So sorry, I'm trying to get through this. I am using a Juki DDL 5550. So this one is similar to the 8700. So this sounds really bad, but when I put my motor on, the belt did not fit anymore, the old one. So I went to 3 different hardware stores and got me a lawnmower belt, and that is what I have on my machine. Okay, so now we're gonna do the accent panels for the main bag, which is the vinyl. So I'm doing vinyl. If you're doing woven, you're gonna have to do I think it's step 3, where you sew it right sides together and then flip it out. Oh wow, that's crazy. I know there was one person when I was looking for my machine. There was one person that was selling them for the same price as brand new, but they were using older machines, and I was like, no. No, and I just happened to come across this person. I originally asked for another one, but they sold it. It was a brother, and all they had was this one left. And I felt so bad. We had to go. We got there like late at night, and they were an older couple, and he helped us load it into our Suburban, and then the oil spilled all over the back of my car, or the Suburban, and my husband was so mad. But I got my industrial, so yes, Deborah. It's crazy how much these machines cost. Like, I got a basic Jubilant machine, and that thing was the price of that. The Jubilant machine costs more than my industrial machine. And it's just a basic, like, that doesn't have as many stitches as my Soprano. Okay, so we're going to So there's little notches on that you needed to cut out on the pattern, and you're just going to match those notches up. So pin an accent panel to the right side of an exterior main panel, wrong sides down. So wrong sides down is this. And matching the bottom raw edges. Okay. And I'm just gonna clip. I'm gonna go ahead and do my other side. Make sure that you have mirror pieces. See, because if you cut it all on one side, and then you try to add it on, it's not gonna fit. See, it's gonna be the wrong way. So make sure you mirror your pieces. Okay, so we're just gonna match this raw edge here and clip. Clip and clip. Oh, look how, this is gonna be such a cute bag. I might have to make me one now. Ooh, Katrina, I told my husband I am saving up for a cylinder arm. Deborah, it's an affliction, not an addiction. I'm sure my husband will beg to differ. He would say I have an addiction. Ooh, make sure you take pictures, Melanie, and show it into the group. Can't wait. You're gonna love it. Okay. So, I'm gonna change out. This one's rusted, so I'm gonna throw it away or drop it on the floor. All right. So what we did was we added our vinyl accent panels, and now you're gonna stitch about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Since it's considered a top stitch, I'm going to have my stitch length at a 4. I personally just like the look of that on the length. It's all personal preference. Some people like a 3.5. Okay, so 1/8 of an inch back stitch. And then needle down. Make sure you have your needle down when you twist. And I'm just gonna hold my panel, make sure it doesn't move. And just continue stitching 1/8 of an inch. Whoop. There we go. Oh, I live in Texas. It is pretty late. It's like almost 11 o'clock for me. It's 10:37. I'm trying to clear out orders. And I've been putting this one off for a while because I've never made it, so I was super nervous about it. Okay, I'm trying to find my snips. I seem to always be misplacing. Is it back here? Found them. Okay. So there is one panel. I don't know if you can see it. Now we're gonna do the second one. So we're just doing 1/8 of an inch. Just making sure that my raw edges are still meeting up for my vinyl and my main panel piece. Okay, gonna move these clips out of the way. I know, how many times have I lost this already during this one video? And I even have a special hook for them and I still cannot remember to put them there. I'm horrible. Okay, 1/8 of an inch, we're just gonna follow this. If you need to, take it slow on the curve. It's not a race. Okay. Beautiful. Look at that. Doesn't that look so elegant? So I'm just going to set this aside behind me, and we're going to do the same exact thing to the other main panel. Just get some clips and clip it. Line up your other side. And clip it. Thank you, Wendy. I know, I'm like not gonna want to have to send it off. I might have to make me one. Okay, just making sure that my edges are all nice and neat. I'm a perfectionist, so I tend to double, triple check everything. Okay. Looks good. Just gonna fold this so it's out of my way, and once again, 1/8 of an inch. I'm just gonna move. I'm gonna fold this so it doesn't hit anything and make me get a wonky stitch. Just gonna hand crank this so that I get a nice stitch on this curve. Okay, and it doesn't want to stay. There we go. Okay, so we are now on our last vinyl accent. Thank you, Deborah. Sometimes my attention to details is not the best thing, especially when I'm on a time crunch. It'll make me late on a lot of things. Okay. So once again, 1/8 of an inch. Okay. So I'm just gonna roll this again. And you don't have to worry if you're using vinyl and you're worried about it creasing. I would just do a nice little like roll instead of like squishing it down like I am. Since I'm using canvas, I know I can iron this out. But I saw somewhere on, I don't remember what group it was. Somebody used like a steamer on their vinyl and it took out all the wrinkles. Okay. So now we're on the last bit, and then we can move on to the next step. Uh-oh, I hope I'm not moving my phone. Okay. Lost my snips again. Oh my goodness, guys. Yeah, you can do, yeah, Angela, you can use that. I would just make sure that you use the right interfacing. So I got my vinyl, the black vinyl I got from Hobby Lobby. The white and black is canvas that I got from Walmart. Sure, yes. I found them. I knew if I took a break, they would show up wherever they were. Telling you how. And the sad thing is I have 2 of these and I can only find one. I do not know where my second one is. It's gone. They probably did fall. Oh. Okay. Hi, Rhonda. So I am making the Lynette business bag. Let me show you a picture. So this is the pattern I'm using. And this is what my front looks like. Oops. I am using a mix between vinyl and canvas. Oh no, you know what? I've noticed that my Walmart is slowly clearing out. It used to be a really big section and it's really small. But the good news is they have been clearancing out a lot of stuff. So I got waterproof canvas for $2 a yard. I ended up just buying the whole row. It was a lime green, but I use bright colors anyways, that it's perfect. You know, Deborah, I made masks, and a lot of my customers were a little bit upset because they were taking a long time. I wasn't like whipping them out like some people were. So it took, you know, a week or so. And they are now my best customers. They come back and like, you have the best mask. And I'm like, yeah, I don't make them anymore. But some people were really mean. But I'm a perfectionist. And so I take things slow. Everything needs to be perfect. Sometimes it's not the best though. Amanda, so I am making the Linette bag. This is it. This is what my front looks like. I'm so in love with this. I'm sitting here like, man, I do not want to give this to my customer. Can I keep it? Okay. On to the next step. Thank you, Amanda. Okay. So now we're going to do the main zipper. This part is going to be the trickiest. It's kind of what is making me nervous. I feel like this is probably going to be the hardest part of the bag. But we're gonna do it. So fold the main zipper tab in half. So we're gonna get the main zipper tab, which I believe is, I'm gonna double check because I don't want to sew the wrong thing on. So the main zipper tab is 1.5 inches by 4. And I actually did mine with vinyl instead of using the lining like it suggested. So I do not sell the pockets, like the inserts, but I do have some that have filter pockets, like the option to add a filter pocket so you can put your own filter in. I hope that makes sense. I have pocket and non-pocket masks. Yes, Deborah, I did a, for each mask bought, I donated, and so I sewed 1,500 and donated 1,500 masks. Which is why I'm kind of all masked out. And that is the reason why I can sew really quickly on my Juki. I was using my Baby Lock Soprano, and it was too slow for me, and so I hopped on my Juki, and once I got the hang of it, I was whipping them out left and right. Okay, so sorry about that. So we're gonna fold the main zipper in half, wrong sides together, match the two shorter ends together, and press. Since I'm using vinyl, I'm not gonna press. Open and fold each short end to the center crease so that they butt together, and then we're gonna press again if you're using cloth. Fold each long edge to the center and press. Okay, so since I am using vinyl, I do not need to do all that. I am just going to let's see, how am I going to do this? I'm just going to add it. I'm going to cut this down. So if you are doing cloth, or the lining, you're gonna fold it so there's no raw edges. Since I'm using vinyl, I don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to trim my zipper tape because it has this weird, like, where it got cut. So I'm just gonna and then I'm gonna get my lighter. I'm gonna get my lighter and I'm going to just kind of run it along so that my zipper does not fray. See how it's fraying like this? I'm gonna trim it up so that it doesn't do that. There we go. And I'm gonna get, well, I guess I lost my other, oh no, there it is. So how did I get my customer or build your clients? I just made bags for family members and made sure I posted pictures. I make sure I mark it on Instagram. You know, the best way is word of mouth. And you do word of mouth by carrying, like, you make yourself a purse and you carry it out and people will be like, oh my gosh, where you get it? And I give them my business card. Yeah, I'm all masked out, Angela. I feel you. Okay. Yes, Wendy. So definitely do that because I know that when it frays and then you try to put the zipper pull on it and it's kind of all, it's hard because, you know, it's like constantly fraying. So yes, make sure you I always carry a lighter, seal your edges so you don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to pull out my zipper pulls, which, like my snips, I lost. I found them though. I'm just going to add them on. Okay, for some reason, the gunmetal ones aren't wanting to go on, so I'm just gonna use silver and mix match. Oh, so what I'm doing is I put one edge halfway, put the other side halfway, and kind of make it even, and then I can pull it down. If I can get a good, I'm gonna sear it because, let's see. And now I have a nice even zipper on. So I'll show you with my second one, if I can find it. I have a fork too that's all bent. But I found it easier just to like do it myself. Okay, so I have my zipper pull, and I'm just going to put it halfway, just a little halfway, hold it, and then I'm going to add my other one and do the same thing. Add it halfway till it's nice and even. So you see how it's even now? And then I'm going to push down on my zipper. Then I'm going to hold the edge and pull down, and it's nice and even. Yes, Wendy, I agree. Some days I'm like, what in the world? because they're like super uneven, and I'm just like, whatever, I'm just gonna work with it. So I wanted like a nice long pull on mine. So I made mine at 18 inches. Well, I cut it at 19 inches, and I knew I was gonna have to cut off like an inch because it was all wonky. So it might be like 18 and a half. So I'm actually going to, I'm gonna see how I like this. I'm gonna cut this in half. Because I'm using a vinyl, I don't have to worry about my raw edges. If only I can find my scissors. So, I'm just gonna cut that. And I'm going to make sure it's nice. I'm going to make it a little off-centered. That way I can trim it down and make it perfect. Okay. And I'm just going to get a clip. Well, not that clip because it flew out of my hand. And I'm going to sew it down. And I'm going to do about 1/8 of an inch. So this is a little bit different from the pattern. It's a little bit different from the pattern because I'm using vinyl versus in the pattern it has you doing cloth. Rhonda, same. I feel like I'm always losing everything. I feel like if I knew where everything was at, I'd be a lot quicker at sewing. I feel like I spend more time looking for things than I do anything else. Something just fell in my trash can. I want to make sure I don't forget it's in there and throw it away. It's probably what happened to my snips. They probably fell in my trash can and then I emptied my trash can out and they're now gone forever. So I am doing a 4-inch stitch. And I'm just gonna do a nice little box around my vinyl. Just like kind of like decorative stitching. So I'm gonna go back down. I'm gonna snip these so they don't get caught underneath and make it look ugly. Okay. Okay. And now. And so this is what I wish I had like bright light. Let me see if I can fix this. No, that made it darker. Can y'all see me? No, it looks worse. Okay, guys. I blinded myself with the light, so the gnomes are partying with their snips. Probably. They took them. Okay, white paper. Good thinking. Can you see? Maybe I can, I have this light I could just maybe. Okay, I blinded myself with that light so I really can't see anything. So I hope you can see this. Thank you, Angela. I'm gonna have to start playing a game to see who helps me find the my snips the most, and then we'll just tally them up, and then I'll have to send out a prize. Okay, so I'm hoping you can see. Okay, I'm gonna take my glasses off. So I just did a little stitch around here. Now I'm going to just, without my glasses, even them up so it's nice and pretty. And then I'm going to, this is a little uneven, and like I said, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm going to peel this up and then just even it out because I didn't cut it even. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Deborah. Okay, so now I'm going to get my thread zapper and I'm going to put my glasses on so I don't burn myself like I did earlier today. And I'm just gonna zap this, push it down. And I'm gonna do the same to the back, just to get a nice clean finish because this is something that they're gonna be able to see. So I got my, make sure I put these where they go. And I'm going to fix this. Now I just gotta find where I put my pattern. Okay, my thread zapper that I lost and I found. Okay. So this is a thread zapper. You pull it up and it turns bright red and it zaps your threads. And it kind of sears them. So like if you have nylon, it helps them from fraying. I wonder if you can see. It like melts it down a little. It melts it down. You can press it, and it just looks. It gives it a nice, clean finish. Like you know, sometimes when you snip threads, you can kind of still see it's like frayed a little bit, and it's raised up. I like the thread zapper because I can push it down, or I can like get that fray away. I hope that makes sense. Caroline, thread zapper. I got it at Hobby Lobby in the jewelry section. My Hobby Lobby only carried one. They don't carry like a long or a good amount. Okay, so we did the pattern piece. Or we did the main zipper. So now we're gonna add the main zipper to the main panel. And if you have the pattern there, it told you where your zipper was gonna start. It wanted you to make a little snip. And that's where you're gonna add the start of your zipper. And so you're gonna do right sides down. So, or right, yeah, you want your main piece and your zipper to be right sides touching. It kind of just burns a little bit. I burned myself like 2 times and it was like, it didn't even hurt. It's not like, I mean, it could definitely probably start like a fire, but if you like held it to paper, but you know, Wendy, I've heard that you can buy it on Amazon too. You can get them on Amazon. Yes, I used a coupon also on mine, but there was only one, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy it, and I was like, I hope it's there in a month, because I was just like, I was waiting. I was in a no spend. I was trying to, you know, be responsible. So use the main panel pattern paper pattern piece. I cannot talk right now. Sorry, guys. Deborah, same. My husband snores so loud. So loud. I'm like, really? So use the main panel paper pattern piece. That is hard. That's like a tongue twister. To mark the zipper placement, which I've already did, along the top edge of the exterior main panel on the right side. Flip the pattern piece over to mark the other side of the same main panel piece. And I believe, did I? Yes. So I did mirror images. So it's going to be perfect. So the mark should be about 5.5 inches from the center. So we're going to pin the main zipper with the tab face down to the right side of the main exterior panel, matching the top straight edges of the main panel. The zipper should be centered horizontally with the zipper stop at the beginning of the zipper. Match up to the zipper placement on the left, fold beginning end of zipper. Okay. So we're trailing off pretty much. So kind of like that. Where to put what, Rhonda? So this part, use the zipper foot, so 1/4 of an inch. The zipper should be closed and the pull should be to the left. The zipper should be centered with the zipper stop at the beginning. I just like to double check because this is the part that was making me nervous the most. Okay. I'm just going to Oh. Yes, the zipper genie you made. So this, I'm hoping, is the right way. This should be. Okay, I got it. I figured it out. Yes. I believe I did. Let me pin that into place. Yes, the zipper's face down, and what it wants you to do is fold it like this, like a 7 shape, I guess. And you're going to add it to where the mark is at. Yes. That way, it's kind of like it won't like come off. So like once we sew it, it's going to look like this. So it's kind of like stopping the pull. It'll stop the pull from going without like, or seeing any raw edges. So I'm going to pin it here, and then I'm going to follow all the way down. I'm going to continue pinning all the way down, and then I'll show you what it looks like. This is how I'm understanding it until, let's see, and then yeah, because then you're going to move this out of the way so that it is, I want to make sure that I have my, so make sure that you snip, did I? Yeah, so there's 2 snips that you're going to want to do. That way that you have, that way you know where to trail off on the end. So I'm just going to snip that because I didn't. Guess I'll just use these. I don't know where I put my good ones. Oh, here they are. Okay. So I'm going to pin up until there, because then we're going to go. So it looks like this. And then we're going to stitch all the way to the other mark. We're going to do that at 1/4 of an inch. Yes. So it's just a way to trail it off. So like it's going to hold, it's pretty much making a zipper stop on this zipper. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm right. I'm gonna clip this here and hold this in. Okay, so we're doing 1/4 of an inch. Let me double check. So we're gonna use a zipper foot, but I don't have a zipper foot. Sew along the straight edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance, starting and stopping at the zipper placement marks, which is the little snips that I just created. So I'm gonna change my stitch length to a 3. I'm gonna hold this so that it doesn't move out of the way because it's wanting to move. So hold the that zipper on the other side. It'll be sticking out. You'll see it if you're doing this. So at 1/4 of an inch. So let me make sure I'm at 1/4 of an inch. Okay. And I'm just going to sew 1/4 of an inch all the way down to that next zipper placement. Where is it? It's right here. So I'm just going to keep my finger there so I know where it's at. Okay. So now I'll show you what it looks like. So this is what it will look like once it's like over on this side. Good night, Rhonda. Thank you for joining me. Even though it's only for, I mean, you were here for a while. I have one. So I bought one, but I don't think it's a right foot. It doesn't seem to like. It doesn't seem to do what I like it to do. So now we're on to the next part. So we're gonna pin the main lining panel to the exterior main panel, right sides together, matching all raw edges. The zipper will be sandwiched between. Tuck the end of the zipper between the panels so that you don't stitch it. Flip so the wrong side of the exterior panel is up. Starting exactly a 1/2 inch from the side edge. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and mark a 1/2 inch because I just like to make sure I'm doing. If only I knew where my, there it is. So a 1/2 inch is right about here. And we're gonna do that on both sides at a 1/2 inch. Okay. Now we're just gonna clip. Oh, a high shank. Okay, I'm gonna go on Amazon and try to order another one. Maybe I just got a really cheap one. So it like wiggles and sometimes it comes undone. So maybe I did just buy the wrong one. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you move this out of the way. So they want you to like tuck it. Yes, so tuck it so that you don't accidentally sew it when you're putting the lining on. So I'm just gonna go through, kind of make sure everything is even. So the lining material I'm using is waterproof canvas. I got this one from Hobby Lobby, I believe. There we go. Okay. Trim the beginning ends of the zipper, extending past the seam allowance. Okay, so you're gonna sew at a 1/4 inch seam allowance like we did the last one, but you're gonna make sure that you're gonna stop and start a 1/2 inch from the edge. So I'm just gonna go 1/4 inch. I have my stitch length at a 3. Just gonna work my way through. Make sure your zipper is down and not in the way. You don't want to accidentally catch it while sewing. That would be sad. Okay. Make sure I know where my 1/2 inch is. Okay. Okay, lost my snips again, but that's okay because I got these up right there. So now you can trim off this excess zipper that's hanging out right here. So Deborah, I personally like waterproof canvas because you do not have to interface, which means you're saving a lot more on the woven fuse interfacing. Plus, I like that. I also like the feel of the bags. It makes it a little bit thicker. And I like the like thought of no like water will get through. I mean, obviously some water will get through, but like, oh no, not a ton. Okay. So now we are flipping from the beginning and ends of the zipper tape extending past the seam allowance. Press both the main panels away from the zipper. Repeat to sew the remaining exterior main panel and lining panel to the other long side. So you're going to do the same exact thing that we did to this to the other side. But you're going to have to flip it right side out. It doesn't look like we are top stitching. Doesn't look like we're top stitching that. I want to double check because I don't know if I like she top stitched it. So I wonder if I'm missing something. So we're going to press main panel away from the zipper. Repeat to this to sew the remaining exterior panel and lining to the other side. 2 notches, 2 notches, trim the seam allowance, and then it says to move on to the, wait. I'm just looking through this to make sure that, I'm guessing you're gonna top stitch it. At what point do we top stitch this? Okay, just doesn't say anything about top stitching, so I'm just going to do the next panel. So grab your main, and we're going to do the same exact thing that we did to the other side. So I'm going to, so we're just going to do the same thing we did to the other side. Right now I'm just making sure that I am pinning my I'm gonna make sure, I know on this side I did not notch my ends position, so I'm just going to notch it real quick. Let me see, let me make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to sew at a 1/4 of an inch, like we did on the other side. My stitch length is at a 3. And we're going to do a 1/4 of an inch. I'm just gonna roll this so that it's out of my way. Making sure I'm 1/4 of an inch, which is just the length of my foot, or the width of my foot. So you're gonna make sure you back stitch and you stop right where we put that second zipper placement on the other side. So I'm just making sure that I know where it's at so that I don't accidentally sew past it, because that would be sad. Okay. Going to adjust, make sure I move it out of my okay. So now we've done that. Yeah, I think I could top stitch it afterwards. I was looking through the pattern to see if it told me when to top stitch, but I'm not seeing it. I'm wondering if you're supposed to do it towards the end. Yes, I'm doing this whole bag tonight. I have the person coming in the morning to pick it up, so I want to make sure it's done and ready. So I'm not using a zipper foot. I'm just using a regular Teflon foot. So I'm just going to kind of double check. I'm going to go through this one more time, make sure. I'm just gonna read through this real quick. Make sure I'm doing this right way. So use the main paper piece to mark the zipper placement. Okay, we did that. The zipper should be centered horizontally with the zipper stop at the beginning of the zipper match. Okay, fold the beginning end in place. Okay. Good night, Wendy. Thank you for stopping by and watching. So Amanda, I got my Teflon foot off of Amazon. So sorry, I'm going to be a little quiet for a second. I'm reading through the pattern to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. I feel like I am, but it just seems a little different than normal patterns. Okay. Okay, perfect. So we did do it right, but it's not having me top stitch yet. So I'm gonna continue going until it tells me to top stitch. Do I really only have 2 pages left? Am I doing this right? Hold on, let me make sure my pages are in order. They're not. 6, 7, 8, 9. I always go to Amazon first. Okay, so we did that right. So now we're gonna do the bottom part. So press the main panel. Okay, done. Pin the bottom edge of an exterior main panel to the long raw edge of the contrast. Okay, so let me find my bottom. So, got my bottom. So pin the bottom edge of an exterior main panel to the long raw edge of the contrasting bottom panel. Right sides together with the bottom panel centered between the two notches along the bottom of the main panel, starting about a 1/2 inch from the end of the bottom panel. Sew along the matching edge at a 1/2 inch seam allowance, stopping a 1/2 inch from the other end. Backstitch at the start and stop. Trim the seam allowance, so 1/2 inch seam allowance, 1/2 inch seam allowance. And I'm going to go ahead and mark a 1/2 inch because it looks like it wants you to start a 1/2 inch. At least that's what I hope, because that's what I'm gonna do. Caroline, thank you for telling me, because I actually forgot. See, I knew something was off. I'm gonna go ahead and mark my other end just because I already did it. Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm glad you pointed that out. Twilight. Deborah, it's Twilight. I only know because I'm a huge Twilight fan. I have all the books. Okay. Yeah, I'm... In the picture, it's top stitched. But I'm not gonna... I guess I'm gonna top stitch it at the end. Maybe. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead... and I'm going to move my zipper panel down all the way so it's like kind of detached, so that I can add my main panel, or my so I'm gonna mark my 1/2 inch from the edge like we did the last one. Oh man, I lost my little ruler. Go figure. Hi Raven. Yes, we're almost done with this bag. I would say we probably have like 30 minutes left. Ever. Michael, so my sewing machine is a Juki DDL 5550. I will tell you, Deborah, Twilight came out when I was in high school, and I paid to watch that movie in theaters 10 times. I had a shirt that had a picture of Bella and Edward at prom, and I wore it every day to high school and in college. No shame. I love Twilight. I am Team Edward though, so not Team Jacob. I'm just gonna put my scissors away. Get your main panel. I marked a 1/2 inch because that's where you're gonna start sewing. and then you're gonna stop on the other 1/2 inch on the other side. So make sure that you're moving the one that has the zipper tab. So you wanna make sure that you don't crisscross it. You wanna make sure that it's still, it's in the right position for whenever it's time to flip it. Because if you twist it on accident, you're not gonna be able to zip it back up. It's gonna be sad. You're gonna have to pick it. So I'm making sure that everything is correct. Because then I'm just gonna visualize it because I want to make sure that it's right. So I'm just gonna put a couple clips here so that when I flip it and I put it together, perfect. Okay. Same. Zippers is my nemesis. Okay, so just a tip for those that are worried about zippers and especially this one where you have to unpull it and open and like separate it. Put a couple clips and pretend like you're gonna flip it like I did. Pretend like you're gonna flip it, and you can gauge and make sure that it's gonna be the right way, which is what I did. So once it flips over, it's not gonna be twisted. Okay. Now it's somehow twisted. Oh. Hold up. Wait a minute. I twisted it when I was... So I'm just going to untwist it. So that one, open it. Sorry guys. The last thing I want to do is have to... See, now it's not working for me. I get my waterproof canvas from, you can get it at Walmart and Hobby Lobby. I don't think Joann's carries it, and I know you can get some from Fabric Wholesale Direct. Just Google Ortex canvas. Thank you, Rebel, because I was stressing. I was like, when am I going to top stitch? So, I'm glad that is all. Okay, so something happened with my zipper. I'm just trying to figure out why it's not doing what I want it to do. Okay. I'm going to unpin this, and I'm going to try it again. Oh, wait. Oh. Did I do this wrong? No, it's right. Wait, is it? Hold on a second. I'm struggling here, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. Okay. Wow, it got twisted. Seriously. So make sure it doesn't get twisted like mine did. Oh, I'll have to try that, Michael. Okay. So, I'm gonna make sure. Sorry guys, I think I'm making this more difficult than it needs to be. So now I'm just going to do my Just gonna get some clips and clip it now. I hope I can, okay. So, I am just matching my edges right now. And then we're gonna sew right where the 1/2 inch starts from that edge. And then we can move on to the bottom piece. So you're gonna do a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance on this. So 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Starting at that 1/2 inch mark we just put. Just want to make sure I know where that 1/2 inch is. There we go. That stitch, and I have my stitch length at a 3. That's what a 3 to a 2 1/4 to a 3 is what I normally have my stitch length for when I'm constructing a bag. Oh. Alright, sorry guys. For some reason my internet starts acting up at nighttime. It's so weird. Okay, so I'm going to put my foot down because I'm coming to the part where, hold on. Oh, I already did that part. Okay, perfect. So I just wanted to make sure that I did not zip, because the zipper is a little bit longer than the actual, like, where the zipper is going to open and close. It's just like a little hanging a little bit. So I wanted to make sure I didn't sew it into the seam, but it's fine. Brenda, yeah, so when did you order it? Is it taking a long time, or is it on its way? I love waterproof canvas. I just like the fact that you don't have to interface it at all. Okay, so I'm getting to where my 1/2 inch is. And I just want to make sure I know where it's at, because that's where you're going to stop. You don't want to go over it. So I'm going to put my needle down, lift my foot up, and check. I have a couple more stitches, so I'm just going to hand crank it. One more, and then I can back stitch. Okay. And that is that. Snip my threads. Oh, you have it. That's good. Okay. I'm just checking my seam allowance, make sure everything's good. It is. Okay. So now I can show you what it looks like. So here is where our stop of our zipper is, where it goes down, And that is like a zipper stop. It's not gonna come through. So, and that is the excess tail. It's just like cute decorative. So it was gonna like open all the way. You get a nice size bag here. Oh, perfect. It took me a long time. I struggled with the other side, Caroline. To be honest with you, Michael, I don't know because I don't use contact cement. I only use vinyl. I don't use leather, so I don't really have a need to use the contact cement. So I can't 100% say if it takes it well. My hair is knotted. Okay. This bag is coming along great. It's almost done. So now, press both main panels away from the zipper. Repeat to sew the exterior, which is what we did. Pin the bottom edge of an exterior main panel to the long raw edge of the contrasting bottom panel. So, what we were doing before, I marked it at a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other side just in case I need to. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So, just going to go a 1/2 inch here from this edge. And there we go. Do the same. I want to make sure I'm not missing any comments. Okay. Now we're putting our bottom. We're going to do it to the main exterior panel, not the lining. And you're going to go right at the notches that we had to, that we put into the bag. So from notch to notch. Clip and clip. Hello, thank you for joining me. I figured this was a good time because I know a lot of people missed the sew along with the Echo bag because it was so early, and I figured since I was going to be up sewing this bag, that it'd be nice to catch some of my to catch people that weren't in my time zone. Okay. Okay, so we are going to do this at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Make sure your lining is not in the way. You're only doing it to the main panel. Kenna, I might just have to. I have been seeing quite a few people do the Brooklyn, and it is so cute. I'm not gonna lie, I actually have it already cut out, so I might just have to pick some fabric and see what I can do. Good night, Michael. Thank you for joining us. So here we go, 1/2 inch seam allowance. Oops. So So there I go, already messing up. No biggie, it happens. I was not paying attention. So you want to start at the 1/2 inch. I started at the beginning. I just need the phone. Okay. Cannot find my seam ripper. So let me see. Yes, so I've made the Ethel bag. I've made the Bonnie bucket bag. What else? That's pretty much it, to be honest. Oh, no, I made the Linette. Well, technically I made the Linette. I have not put the lining in. I just recently got my industrial, so I haven't really been making a lot of Swoon bags just because my domestic could not really handle it. So, but I did do the Linette on my domestic machine. And it didn't do a terrible job. I just tend to be very critical of my work. So y'all like seeing the cutting it out? I can do that. I can definitely do that. I liked going live. To be honest with you, I enjoy doing lives because it's like I'm sitting in my room working, talking to friends. So I can definitely cut out the Brooklyn on the live. And then I can sew up the Brooklyn on Friday. I can definitely do that. So right now, I messed up. It happens to the best of us. If you mess up and you're a beginner, don't get discouraged. It's okay. So I'm gonna do it the right way now. I'm gonna start at the 1/2 inch. We are doing a 1/2 inch seam allowance, but you want to do it that 1/2 inch mark that we marked earlier. So there we go. Making sure it's all even. I'm just gonna continue on, making sure that I stop at that other 1/2 inch mark that I So right now, Dean, I am adding the bottom panel to the main panel. So, Deborah, I can do it late Friday or early, whatever works for y'all. Since y'all are requesting it, I'll do it whenever. Belle, that's good to know. I will continue doing live videos then if y'all like it. I plan on trying to sew all of the Swoon patterns and at least have a video for it so that people can go and look back and can see how it's done, because I'm a visual learner and I know that these videos helped me a lot when I was starting out. So I'm gonna continue going at a 1/2 inch seam allowance until I get to that 1/2 inch mark that I marked. Okay, I'm gonna back stitch, find my snips that I lost. Okay, I'm just gonna trim up these edges here, or these threads here. There we go. Okay, So now we have our bottom panel on. Okay, now we're gonna trim the seam allowance down to 1/4 of an inch on that bag. So just get some regular scissors. Hold on, I'm gonna double check that because this seems kind of. Trim the seam allowance. So okay. So this is gonna be very important how you trim this. My papers are seriously out of order. Oh wait, is it? Okay, so you're gonna trim it, but you're gonna so you're gonna start at that 1/2 inch. Don't go past that 1/2 inch. You're just gonna wanna cut it at 1/4, and then at that 1/2 inch that we marked on this side, you're just gonna kind of V out, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm gonna move this. So this is what I mean. So we put that 1/2 inch mark where you needed to start. So you're just gonna kind of dip in, trim your seam allowance to 1/4 of an inch, and then when you get to that 1/2 inch here, you're gonna V out again. Okay, you don't want to go past here because we need this in order to sew. Okay. And now you're gonna repeat to the same. You're gonna repeat that to the other long side. But you know what? And I'm sorry I didn't do this before, but I think I'm gonna add purse feet to this. That way, should I add I'm gonna add purse feet. It's last minute, but I might as well do it now before I can't do it. So. I'm gonna find my half mark, which is actually, this works out perfectly because I still have that line from when I did my straps. So I'm going to mark this, and then I want, this is about, so I'm gonna probably go in about this. I'm gonna go in 2.5 inches, or 2 inches, sorry. So then I got my middle here that I want to put a foot. So there's no rhyme or reason on how I'm doing this. I'm just kind of spacing them out so the feet will be even. Yes, I trimmed a 1/4 off. So I decided I'm gonna go base off of this middle section here. I'm gonna go base off my deco veil. So I'm gonna put some here. So I'm gonna put 3 here, and then I'm just gonna go an inch above. I'm gonna go an inch above this line here from each. And this line is a little off, but that's okay. Let me fix this line real quick. It is not even. So That goes there, and this goes here. And then I'm gonna go an inch down again from here. So I'm gonna have I'm wondering if I should put a line in the middle. If I should do 3 rows. What do y'all think? Should I do? No. So I'm gonna do 2 on the side here, 1 in the middle. So I'm gonna do 2 here, 1 in the middle, and then I can see, we can go from there. So I'm just gonna get my So this is just a leather hole puncher that I'm going to use to try to reach into that middle. My thing has a bunch of vinyl in there, so I'm just gonna clear it out. Brenda, yes, I want the vinyl to wear off from it, like being set on the floor so much, you know, because it's a computer bag. So I think it's a good idea. Plus, I just like the way it makes a bag look. Okay. If only I could get to the second one. There we go. My thing is full of vinyl, so it wasn't cutting. I'm gonna go grab, let's see, how many did I do? 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, Caroline, it was like confetti. Yes, so I'll show you what my... So there are different, these are all different size punches that you can use. I like it because it works perfectly for when I do my embroidery and sometimes I make matching hand sanitizer cases with it. So like I had ran a special with one of my backpacks that I make where they got, like, if they ordered it, they got a free matching vinyl embroidered hand sanitizer, and it's perfect to punch and do your to add like the keychain and stuff to it. So it's great for it's perfect for those sizes. Sorry, I'm rambling. So I'm just gonna add my feet. There's Decoville Heavy on this, so I'm not worried about having to base it. Oh wow, Deborah, you've done a lot. Yes, okay, I have done the Heidi. I forgot I did the Heidi. I'm also doing the Betty Bowler bag. I have another custom order for a Betty Bowler bag, and that one's gonna be in black and cheetah and leopard print. Okay, so I'm going to add my washers. Okay, what do y'all think? You think that's enough, or should I add 2 more here? I'm thinking I probably need to add 2 more. I think I need to probably add 2 more here. I'm not sure. What do y'all think? Okay, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking to add these 2 because it just seems a little floppy. I'm glad we're on the same page. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more in the dots that I had already. Okay, the other one I'm going to have to just do this because this I'm not going to be able to reach. Okay. So 1, 2. Looks a little weird. Oh well. It'll be fine. I think that looks that looks a little weird, but I think it'll be okay. She's not gonna. It'll be fine. Yeah, the vinyl won't rub on the bottom. I'm not too worried. It just gives the middle extra support because it's gonna have a lot of weight in it, so it'll work out. It looks nice regardless. Okay, so I'm just gonna move my purse feet, and now we can do the other side of the bag. So we're gonna need to unzip in order to get the bag all the way over. So we're gonna do the same thing where we're gonna add that 1/2 inch mark that we did, and we're gonna center it in the notch that we made from the pattern. So this ruler here, it's an Omni Grid ruler, and it is, I believe, 6 inches by 24 inches. Yes, it does give it character. The thing I've learned the most about bag making is that most customers won't notice if you like messed up, you know, like on the bottom. Like she's not gonna realize that like it looks different. I mean, she might, but she's not gonna know that like I added too many or it looks different. I hope that makes sense. But there are some times I'm like, but I'm also like a super perfectionist, so I tend to be more critical of my work than I'm gonna put my hair in a ponytail because it's everywhere. You can get this at you can get that ruler at Hobby Lobby or Joann's. Okay, let's do it. So at the 1/2 inch, we're gonna do a 1/2 inch seam allowance, starting at that 1/2 inch that we marked on the bottom panel. Back stitch. Whoops, it's going a little wonky. That's okay. And hold this, because if you don't, you're gonna end up like me where it wants to go this way. Okay, back stitch. That's a good idea, Deborah. I chipped my nail, so it's like snagging on stuff. Okay. So now you're going to trim the seam allowance like we did the last time. Remember, you want to start at that 1/2 inch notch that we marked and V out, or V in, you know, curve in, and then 1/4 inch, cut to 1/4 inch. And then V out at that. So like this. See that V? So we're gonna do that same exact thing to the lining bottom. But we gotta make sure, because I forgot this last time on the Ethel bag, we need to make sure we leave a 10 inch opening along one edge of the lining bottom. So, hi Vicky. I am sewing the Lynette business bag. I have a picture right here from the pattern. Let me grab it so you can get an idea of what it is we're sewing. So this is what we're making right here. That's a good idea. I should definitely do that. I almost sometimes since I do cannot think, it's so late. Since I have my pattern pieces as one, I normally, because you cut on the fold when you have fabric, it's already folded. Sometimes I just sorry, I'm getting distracted. Sometimes I'll cut double of it since it's already on the fold, and I'm not cutting on a fold. So, if that makes sense. I'm sorry if I'm babbling. Okay. Hi, thank you so much. Okay, so I got the black and white fabric from Walmart. Okay, we're so close to being done. So now we're just gonna do the same exact thing to so I wanna make sure that I mark my I need to get my white pen, or white gel pen. So I'm just gonna mark the 1/2 inch here. To start and stop. I'm gonna do it to the other side. And we are so close to being done, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Especially because I like babble a lot. But it's nice to talk to people that understand, you know, that know sewing and stuff like that, because I talk to my husband and his eyes just glaze over. Vicky, it is canvas from Walmart. The vinyl is black. Deborah, that is so true. Sometimes my sewing machine has a mind of its own. Okay, so just to show you what I did, I marked a 1/2 inch from this edge here, because that's what we're gonna sew. We're gonna start our sewing and end our sewing. Then we have these notches here that were in the pattern that we needed to cut out. That is where you're going to line up those lines that we just created or marked. So you're going to, I still have a little bit of triangle stuck in. So I'm going to pin. So just so you can see, we have this notch here. I'm gonna get that line, that 1/2 inch line, and I'm gonna center it right in that V that we cut out of the pattern that we were told to. And then we're gonna do that all the way to the other side. That is so great to hear, Kenna. I feel like I'm just talking to a bunch of friends that I've known forever. Okay, so we're doing the same exact thing to the other side, and then I'm gonna go through and pin, continue pinning or clipping. Mackenzie, oh, Team Jacob. You know, the funny thing is that my dad, he's so lame, but my dad is Team Jacob, but just to annoy me. So in high school he would be like Team Jacob, and he would like do like a werewolf howl, and I was just like, please stop. But he still does that, like, and I'm a grown adult now. It's so funny. But yeah, because he knew how obsessed I was with Edward. Okay, so I'm just making sure that I'm at that 1/2 inch mark that I just want to make sure that I'm at that 1/2 inch dash that we put in. Okay, sorry. Thank you, Kenna. How do I install my nameplate? Okay, I'll show you real quickly. Uh-oh. Well, I can't show you because I already put it in, but I'll just explain it. So So I have these washers here that came with my nameplates. So these are my nameplates here. I don't know if you can see them. And they have these, I mean, they're kind of like the same as putting in magnetic snaps. So I have my washer, and I know that the middle point is 5, so I count 5 in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I place that in my middle, wherever I like my middle section of my purses. I'll put that number 5, the middle part of the washer there, and then I just put a dash on the outside, the most outer side of my washer, and then from there I can open my prongs, and then I can add them in and close them. It's just like a snap, adding a snap or adding purse feet. Yes, so this neon green foot is the Teflon foot. Yes, no problem, Rebel. I love your name, by the way. So, adding our bottom panel, remember 1/2 inch seam allowance. We're going to start at that 1/2 inch mark that we put in. Your start, make sure you back stitch. I am at a 3 inch for my stitch length. So I'm just going to make sure that I hold this, because if I let this flop, the weight pulls it this way. See, it moves it. So I just like to hold it right here to kind of keep it secure so that I can control my seam allowance. So here we go. Continue on. It's okay to go slow, and it's okay to go fast if you're able to. I like to go in between, because then I can work it. It's not too fast for me to control. No, Kenna, it's okay. Ask away. That's why I do these lives. That way, newbies or beginners can ask me whatever questions they need. Because I know when I first started, everything was so overwhelming on all the things that I needed to do, or that I didn't know that I needed. That's so cool, Rebel. I remember you posted the other day, Kenna, that you got a really good deal on brand new Juki 8700, I believe. I think you said you paid like $300, which is a steal. Congrats. Okay. So making sure I backstitch, I went to that 1/2 inch mark that I made. Vicky, so I got my nameplates off of Alibaba. I'm gonna try, if I can remember, I still need to put the product listing for the Ethel. But this week has just been so crazy between my 2 boys being in school, virtual learning, and then my husband had surgery on Tuesday, and he's pretty much out. He can't help. And I have 4 boys, so it's been a crazy couple days. So I'm hoping that I can put out that product listing today, because I'm not I should be super wired after all this, and everybody else is asleep. So I'll try to sit down today. But I got mine from Alibaba. I'll make sure I put the link and stuff. That way y'all can get what I have. That's an amazing deal. I'm super envious of you, Kenna. So, this is what I just did. We trimmed our seam allowance to a 1/2 inch. We're gonna do the other side. We gotta make sure, and I'm mainly talking to me, we gotta make sure that we leave that 10-inch opening. So, I did the same thing I did with my main lining on when I trimmed my seam allowance. I made sure I didn't go past that 1/2 inch because we're gonna need that. So I just V'd in a little bit before that 1/2 inch mark that I made, trimmed 1/4 of an inch, and V'd out once I got to the other side of my mark. That's so crazy, but good for you. I can't wait to see all the amazing things you make. Okay, so I'm just trimming my threads. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side, but making sure we leave 10-inch opening. So, I'm gonna turn my heat press off because I realize it's still on. And I will go to bed and leave that thing on. Okay, so I'm just centering that 1/2 inch mark that we made, and then I am going to pin the remaining section of it. But I'm gonna make sure, so I pinned it, but I'm going to make sure I remove this so I don't forget that I need to leave a 10-inch opening. So I believe this might be about a good 10 inches right here. Let me double check. Okay. Okay, 10-inch opening. And my pattern fell on the floor. Here's the other piece. So we're on page 7. All right, so once we do this, we're gonna trim the seam allowance. We'll trim the seam allowance, and then we can set this aside because now we're gonna go to the pocket divider. So, just like we did last time, 1/2 inch seam allowance, starting at that 1/2 inch that we marked. And I'm going to, I almost forgot, but I didn't. Vicki, I live in Texas, in the Austin area. Are you talking to Kenna? I think, probably talking to Kenna to know where she. No, I'll be 29 in September. I have 4 boys. My oldest is 7 and my youngest turned 1 on Sunday. So we're doing the same thing on the other side. Remember, we want to keep that 10-inch opening. We want to make a 10-inch opening, which is why so I'm going to release the tension on my foot. I'm going to pick my foot up. That way I know I'm not getting any bubbles and this isn't shifting because it was getting all wonky. So I just want to make sure that everything aligns. And I'm going to sew at a 1/2 inch. Okay. Yep. we're gonna sew to that 1/2 inch mark again, just like before. Back stitch. And then we'll trim our seam allowance. But make sure yes, Brenda, definitely quite a handful. Mackenzie, do you have 4 boys? Oh, wow. So I'm trimming my seam allowance right here, and I'm doing the same exact thing that I do when I did the main panel side. So I'm V'ing out because we're gonna need this when we turn it. Also, a little tip, because if you're anything like me, I tend to sew a smaller hole than I need to, and then I can't birth it out. So I always kind of leave a little bit of a 1/2 inch, so that way if I have to unpick, I have a little bit of like 1/2 inch on the other side so that I can still catch it when I turn it. So we're doing the same thing, just V'ing out. 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay. Oh, that's so awesome. Yes. So my little baby was supposed to be a September baby. His birthday was supposed to be 3 days before mine, because he was supposed to be born on the 23rd, but he decided to come August 30th. And he was itty bitty out of all, well, I already have itty bitty babies, but he was 5 pounds 11 ounces. No, 5 pounds 8 ounces. So he was super tiny. Oh, Caroline, you know what? My brother-in-law is 8 years old. So I totally get it. And my husband is 30. So okay, so now we can set this aside. I am so excited. Now I just need to get my other zipper, which, go figure, I lost it. So we need to grab our, oh man. Okay, if I were zipper tape, where would I be? So this is the story of my life. I tend to always lose everything. So maybe I stuck it back here. Did it fall? Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to. I know. Now I have no idea where it's at. And it's not behind my desk. Oh, found it. telling you, I feel like half the time that I'm sewing, I am looking for my stuff that I lost. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Oh, wow. My oldest, well, because my husband is from Iowa, so we don't really get to see his side of the family much, except for on, like, Christmas and, you know, Thanksgiving. But my son loves his uncle. They will spend the night at my father-in-law's house, and thank you. I would lose my head if it wasn't attached to my body, just so you know. So now we're doing the pocket divider, and then pretty much from here we have 3 pages left. I thought I was a lot closer. So fold both ends of the zipper pocket tab under a 1/2 inch and press. I am using vinyl, or I don't know if I should use vinyl or if I should use, I think I'm gonna use a waterproof canvas for it. So I'm going to I'm not gonna press because it's waterproof canvas. I don't want to melt it. I'm just gonna use this little bone folder to try to. So you're gonna fold the other side a 1/2 inch also. And I feel like maybe I did not fold that other one a 1/2 inch. No, maybe I did. It looks really tiny. Okay. Okay, so I'm just doing what the pattern says, folding it a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to do it to both of the pieces, and this is the 1.5 inch by 1 inch. So oh wait, yeah. This is the, no, sorry. It's the 1.5 inch by 4 inches. Sorry about that. But it's going to be folded to 1.5 inch by a 1/2 inch. Because then you're going to fold it in half. Again, like this. And then you're going to stick this onto. So slide each end of the 12 inch onto the short opening end of the 2 tabs, button them together. But you know what? I'm not using an all-purpose zipper, so I'm actually going to have to do this differently, which is no biggie if it happens. So I'm gonna have to cut, hold on. Actually, I might not have to because I have, oh, you know what? I did the wrong size. We're good. I figured it out. Oh wait, or did I? So I'm missing a piece. I need to find my other. should have had 2 pieces of these. I don't know where it went. So I'm just going to cut a second one of these because that's what I need to do for... And I have some scraps here that I'm just going to use. Okay. So we're gonna do the same exact thing that I did. I was using the 1-inch piece when I should have been using the 1.5-inch piece. So it all works out. I wasn't doing it because I was starting to get a little nervous. I was like, and then we attached the, then we'll attach the divider pocket to the bag, and then we'll attach it to the lining from there, and then we're almost done. I thought we had 30 minutes. It seems that we have longer than 30 minutes. So let's see, how long have we been live? I don't know, I can't see. For a while. So right now I'm just folding in a 1/2 inch like the pattern says. And I'm finger pressing or using this bone folder to press it because I don't want to use my iron. I don't want to accidentally burn my canvas or my waterproof canvas. Okay, 3 hours and 22 minutes. Which is not bad for a bag. As you all know, bag making can take a long time. So we're going to fold this in half like we did that last one. And then I'm just going to clip because I'm going to have to do the other side. Do the same thing to the other side. Thank you, Mackenzie. Because it's almost 1 here for me. It's 12:46. But I knew I was going to have a late night, so I like... Okay, so slide each end of the 12-inch zipper, divider zipper onto the short opening end of the tab. So let me make sure that this is correct. It's supposed to be 15 inches long. Slide each end of the 12-inch zippers onto the short opening end of the 2 tabs, butting the tabs up to the zipper stop and pin in place. Top stitch along the short edge of each tab along the zipper about 1/8 of an inch. So I wonder... Okay. So I'm pinning this. I just gotta make sure that this is 15 inches long for the zipper. So I gotta find my... So since I'm using zipper by the yard, it's gonna be a little bit, I'm gonna have to get this just right. I might have to cut a new zipper tab, a new zipper. Yeah. So I'm gonna cut a new zipper because I need to make it 15 inches and I'm not using, so I'm going to add this like this. So the servo motor, it helps you control the speed. So you can go fast and you can go slow. Clutch motor, it just goes from 0 to 100 real quickly. Okay, so I just cut a new zipper because you're supposed to use an all-purpose zipper, but since I am using zipper by the yard, I don't have the that extra zipper tape that they put on the end of all-purpose zippers, so I'm having to accommodate for that. No biggie. I'll be able to use this again. So I'm looking for my lighter. I'm gonna light the edge to stop my zipper tape from fraying, and I'm just gonna add my zipper pull to my So for those that hadn't seen me put a put the zipper pull on.
I didn't get that.
Nope.
Could you try again?
Nope, I wasn't talking to you. Sorry, my Siri. So yeah, the zipper tails. Thank you, Caroline. So for those who weren't on earlier when I originally put the zipper pulls on, this is how I put them on. So I put them on, I make them even, halfway through the middle. I make sure that they're even, and then I push down, and then I can pull it through, and it's nice and even. See that? Good night. I will definitely be posting pictures tomorrow, and you can always catch up on the end later today when the live is done. Okay, so I'm going to trim down some of my, still a little long. Oh wait, no. So 15. So right now I am just cutting down my zipper to the right size. So you want it 15 inches from zipper end to zipper end. Perfect. And I finally got it there. Just a little bit of modifying, but easy to do. I'm going to cut this down just a little bit more. It's about 1/8 of an inch too long. I don't think that would make such a big deal, but I just to be sure, I want to make sure that it's the right 15. Perfect. Yes, Caroline. I'm going to burn that in. That way it doesn't fray. And now I can sew this on. 2. I can sew it on together. So now you're just going 1/8 of an inch from the edge. You're gonna top stitch it pretty much. I'm gonna do a 3-inch, that way it's nice and secure. Make sure and double check that you put your zipper pull on, because there has been times that I put on the zipper tabs and I did not put the zipper pull on. So again, 1/8 of an inch from the edge of this zipper tab, back stitch, and back stitch at the beginning and end. Oh, and guess what? My bobbin went out. So I'm going to have to wind a bobbin. Hi Angela, you've missed out. I lost my snips about 10 more times, along with a couple other things. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm going to wind a couple of bobbins because I am out of black completely. I made a lot of other bags today that had a lot of black. So I'm just winding the bobbin real quick. I'm not gonna go too fast because sometimes it trips my breaker. Oh my goodness, Mackenzie, I can't even imagine having to not being able to sew. Especially, like, I feel like I get more motivated when I watch somebody else sew. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Then I'm like, oh, maybe I should get out of bed and actually go make something. So I'm gonna just do one more bobbin just so I have it, just in case. Okay. So I got 2 bobbins sewn. Normally I can go faster, but for some reason my breaker started messing up. Like, I used to be able to go full speed on my machine, but now I can't. Like, it'll trip my breaker. Okay. Okay, good. I'm not the only one. So I'm just gonna put in my bobbin real quickly. We're almost to the finish line. I know I said that already. I'm gonna let y'all know now. I am time blind. I'll be like, oh, it's gonna take me 30 minutes, but it'll end up taking me like 3 more hours, which is exactly what just happened here because I thought we were so close to being done. So I'm just threading my machine. Thank you everybody that has been bearing with me through all this. Exactly. I know. I was like, oh, I wonder what time it is. It's like almost 1 o'clock my time. And I'm like, oh, wow. But I knew that was going to happen. I had bought, I specifically bought me coffee to keep me up late. So I really wanted to get this done. I have so much I got to do. I have one more custom order bag I got to do. And then I have a testing bag that I'm working on. For someone that's going to release her pattern. So, whew. And I cut it out. I can't wait to show everyone. Well, I guess you'll see it if you're in any of the other sewing groups. You'll see it. Okay. So I'm just going to go back right where I left off. 1/8 of an inch. Back stitch. I'm going to start and stop. And you can't even tell. That's what I love about using matching thread. You can't even tell I had to stop. Yes, it's my husband's like biggest pet peeve. And a lot of it is just because of my ADHD. All right, the zipper tape is done. Looks so nice. So we're gonna put the zipper face down to the right side of a pocket divider panel with the interfacing. So one of these. So it says do it face down. So I'm pinning the zipper face down to the right side of the pocket divider that has the interfacing. And I'm just making sure it's on. Perfect. Okay. So we're gonna sew along. Let me make sure. Sew along the matched top edge at 1/4 of an inch. So we're going at 1/4 of an inch. I'm gonna do my same seam allowance of, or my same stitch length of 3. And of course I'm going to back stitch at the beginning. At this point it's just habit for me. I'm gonna move my zipper down a little bit towards the middle. With my foot down, I'm gonna take my zipper pull and I'm gonna put it down towards the bottom so that I don't hit it while I'm stitching. Continue on at 1/4 of an inch, all the way down. So my the zipper tape was a little bit long, so I just kind of cut it. So the pros of my Teflon foot is that my vinyl does not stick to my foot. It makes sewing on vinyl a lot easier. So you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna pin the other side of the pocket divider that without the interfacing, just like how you would do a regular zipper panel, pretty much. You're gonna pin, and then you're gonna do 1/4 of an inch, so the zipper edge will be hidden inside the seam. Then you're gonna press, then you're gonna flip it out and you're gonna flip it and then top stitch it. So I'm just gonna grab my panel and I'm just going to clip it all the way down. I'm gonna start on the other side, so my zipper pull is at the bottom so that I don't have to worry about that being the first thing I hit. So once again, 1/4 of an inch, back stitch. Okay, I'm gonna put my needle down and I'm gonna move my Yes, I could have. And normally I would. But lately I've been really into basting for some reason. Okay. Oops. All right. So I'm going to put this. So now we're going to get our zipper panel and we're just going to, I'm going to finger press because I am not going to heat press or get my iron going for the waterproof canvas. Okay. And I'm just gonna make sure that everything is kind of even for the most part. So I'm just kind of clipping the bottom to make sure that they're even when I top stitch. Yes, she definitely does. I watch her also. She's an amazing teacher. So a lot of the times I go based on the pattern, and then like now that I know, like, okay, I need to put the zipper to the, like now that I know this is how you do the zipper pocket, I probably won't baste again. Just because I know what's coming, you know? I hope that makes sense. Okay, so at 1/8 of an inch, I'm just going to top stitch. I'm going to make sure my stitch length is at a 4. And continue all the way down. Okay. Perfect. Thought I lost my snips. So you're just gonna do the same. You're gonna do the same thing that we just did to the other side. And to make things quicker, I'm going to I'm not gonna baste it. For some reason. I'm going to make sure that my panels line up. Click. Then I'm going to get my I'm gonna get the pattern that doesn't, or the pocket divider that doesn't have the interfacing. I'm gonna sandwich it, and then I'm gonna do the same exact thing we did to the other side. At 1/4 of an inch, we are going to sew this down. Oh. I have mine at my stitch length at a 4. I'm gonna change it to a 3 so that because that's what I like to use for my construction. I'm gonna go a little ways. I'm gonna put my foot down, I'm gonna move my zipper. Okay. I'm gonna flip, and we're gonna top stitch, just like before, at 1/8 of an inch, making sure that my stitch length is at a 4. I'm going to flatten this out, making sure nothing's bubbled, everything's okay. So I have my divider panel all done and ready. Perfect. Okay. So now pin the 2 pocket dividers without interfacing, right sides together, matching the bottom edge. Sew along the bottom edge only at 1/4 of an inch. So we're going to sew this at 1/4 of an inch. Double checking. And then we're going to repeat to the other side with the panels. Good night, Mackenzie. Yes, Brenda, finally some top stitching. Almost done. Trying to get through this as quickly as possible so that I didn't realize this bag was going to take so long, but at least y'all are going to see the finished product. And I made sure that I changed my stitch length back to a 3 so I didn't forget. So I am stitching this at a 3. Okay. So now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Real quickly, I'm just going to do a couple clips. Because we're so close to the finish line, I can feel it. Okay. Just want to make sure my tails are out of the way so they don't get underneath. Okay, 1/4 of an inch. Oh, hold on. Okay, no, it's fine. So I'm gonna do this to the other side, and then when I'm done, I'm gonna trim the seam allowance just a little bit to get rid of the bulk. Yeah. Make sure I didn't accidentally hit my... Okay, now we're going to trim this as close to the stitching as possible. Do the same thing to the other side. Throw that away. So now we're going to turn this right side out. I'm going to close the zipper. I'm struggling. Oh, punch myself in the face. Okay. So I'm just turning this right side out. And then from there, so my Juki is self-oiling. So if you lift up the sewing head, there is a like a metal container, and it's full of oil. And I can show you the oil. I don't know where my oil is. But I have a big old jug of oil, and I just change it. Whenever my oil looks dirty, I change it out. But oh, here it is. I'll show you. So I have this big old jug of oil, and when my oil starts to get like brown or yellow, I'll change it out. Okay, so we just turned the bag right sides out. There we go. So now assembly. We're gonna pin the pocket divider to a lining main panel. Hi, Sally. So I am making the Linette business bag. Let me see if I can find a picture. Where is my pattern? Is right in front of me. I am losing my mind. Let me show you what it looks like. There's a picture here. This is what we're making, the Linette business bag. Such a cute bag. So cute. We're so close to being done. I said that about 2 hours ago, didn't I? So I'm just gonna cut off this extra thread that I have here. So now we're gonna open this. So we need to, I think I need to turn, actually, how am I gonna do this? Oh goodness. Okay. So maybe I need to flip this. Yeah. Wait. Sorry, did I hit y'all? It is. I'm loving this bag right now. Okay, so we're gonna pin the pocket divider to a lining main panel along the side edges, sliding it between the two bottom edges of the divider to match up with the bottom seam. The divider isn't as wide as the main panel, so pull the edges of the main panel in. Okay, I remembered this. Remember looking. What did I just drop? I'm just gonna move my pattern to the side. I have a main piece right here, but goodness gracious, why is this so difficult looking? Okay. So I have my bottom should be here. So I'm going to line this up here and we're gonna pin. And I'm gonna do one side at a time because if I clip this, I feel like it might come undone. Perfect. Okay. So we're only doing it to the two side edges, so at 1/4 of an inch. I want to make sure that this lining